Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining Srimad Bhagavatam class today. Uh, so we'll start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Giri Hari Jaya Giri Pijanavallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Yogananda Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yashodananda Jaya Jaya Nandi Ravana Jaya Kunjavati Hari Jaya Yamukati Ravana Chari Jaya Hari Jaya Hare 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 Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, dear devotee. Thank you so much for the class and discussion. Today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse number 17, 18, and 19. 4, 8, 17. दीर्घं स्वसन्ति दीर्घं स्वसन्ति वृजिनाश्य परम् दीर्घं स्वसन्ति व्रजनाश्य पारम् अपश्यति बालकम् अह बाला अपश्यति बालकम् आह बाला मामङ्गलं तात परेषु मंस्ता मामङ्गलं तात परेषु मंस्ता भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदस्तात् भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदस्तात् दीर्घं स्वसन्ति वृजनस्य पारम् अपश्यति बालकम् आह बाला ममङ्गलं तात परेषु मांस्ता भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदस्तात् Anybody wants to? दीर्घं स्वसन्ति वृजनस्य पारम् अपश्यति बालकम् आह बाला मामङ्गलं तात परेषु मांस्तता भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदास्तात् दीर्घं श्वसन्ति वृजनस्य पारम् अपश्यति बालकम् आह बाला मामङ्गलं तात परेषु मंस्ता भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदस्तात् दीर्घं श्वसन्ति व्रजनस्य पारम् अपश्यति बालकम् आह बाला मामङ्गलं तात परेषु मंस्तात् भुङ्क्ते जनो यत्परदुःखदस्तात्. What word synonym? Dirgham, heavy. Swasanti, breathing. Vrigi- Virginasya of the danger, param, limitation, apashyati, without finding, balakam, to her son, aha, said, Bala, the lady, ma, let there not be, amangalam, ill fortune, tat, my dear son, pareshu, unto others, mamstata, desire, bhumte, suffered, jana, person, yat, that which, paradukha, the who is apt to inflict pain upon others, tat, that. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: She also was breathing very heavily and she did not know the factual remedy for the painful situation. Not finding any remedy, she said to her son, My dear son, don't wish for anything inauspicious for others. Anyways, who inflicts pain upon others suffer himself from that pain. So we'll read the next verse. सत् सत् सत्यं सुरुचा भी विहितं भवामे यद्दुर्भगा यद्दुर्भाग्य उदरे गृहीता स्तन्येन वृद्धश्च विलाजतेयां भार्येति वा वोदम् idashpatirmam. Translation: Suniti said, My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so, because the king, your father, does not consider me his wife or even his maid servant. He feels ashamed to accept me. Therefore, it is a fact that you have taken birth from the womb of an unfortunate woman, and by being fed from her breast, you have grown up. So we'll read, since there is no purport, we'll read next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.8.19. Atishtatat विमत् विमत्सरस्त्वम् उक्तं समात्रापि यत् अव्यलीकम् आराध आराध्य दोक्षज पादपदम् यच्छीसे ध्या ध्यासानम् उत्तमयता. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is factual. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instructions of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: The harsh words used by Suruchi to her stepson were true, because unless one is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot achieve any success in life. Man proposes, God disposes. Suniti, the mother of Dhruv Maharaj, agreed with her co-wife's advice that Dhruva engage himself in the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indirectly, the words of Suruchi were a benediction for Dhruv Maharaj, for because of the influence of his stepmother's words, he became a great devotee. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितम् श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्य श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before starting, I seek blessings from all the devotees, especially Yugal Kishore Prabhuji and my spiritual masters, in the so that by their blessings I can glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, and in that way I'll get some taste in devotional service. Hare Krishna. So today, these three verses 17, 18, and 19. So, what we can learn from this? In the verse 17, it is said that after hearing what did Suruchi said to Dhruv Maharaj, she did not know what Suniti was first of all breathing very heavily, and she did not know what will be the remedy for this painful situation. For example, here in this material world, when we are going through some suffering, we always look for some solution. For example, if we are any problem, then we'll go and at least seek help from our relatives, from our parents, from our friends. If not, we'll try to seek a solution by taking help of court. But here, king himself is against her. So what she will go? Where she will go? What she'll do? Where she'll go? She is not finding any remedy for her problem. What was her problem? That her child was spoken with a harsh words and was not greeted properly by his father. So that was her problem. So she did not know what is the solution of this painful situation. It is very painful because in the next for her, because in the next she's saying to her in the same verse, she's saying to her son, my dear son, don't wish any inauspiciousness for others because if you wish pain, you will get suffering for that pain. So Suniti is indirectly telling to Dhruva, it can be taken in two ways. Either she is saying that maybe we might have did something wrong in our previous life to someone, so we are going through it. So it is just our karma. So we have to go through it. Or it can be taken in this way also. If even if your Suniti, even if your stepmother Suruchi said something wrong to you, don't think anything against her. Otherwise, what is the difference between you and her? You will have to go through suffering if you think wrong of her. This can also be mean that she is thinking wrong of Dhruv Maharaj and Sunati. So she will have to suffer for her bad behavior, and it will come in future, as we already know. that how much she have had to suffer. She lost her son and she lost her life. So she's giving she's giving all these examples to Dhruv Maharaj, and then later she'll say here in this verse we can observe that the words are used as bala. Bala means child, so that means Suruchi was Suniti herself was not very old. She was very young, and because she was young, she was very inexperienced, especially about the world. She was going through a lot of suffering just by hearing what happened to her son. And then next in the next verse, it is said that Sunit is saying that my dear boy, whatever I have spoken by your stepmother, it is because your father does not consider me his wife. So you can see so much pain. There is so much pain in Suniti's heart. And then therefore, it is very unfortunate that you have taken birth from my womb. So here we can learn that first of all, who can do anything to anyone? We all know, or at least we have heard in the 11th canto, Avanti Brahmana said, who is the who is who is causing me problem? Is my enemies are causing me problem? Is other living entities are causing me problem? Is my karma causing me a problem? He said, no, my mind is a main cause of my problem. So even there is one more place where you will hear this kind of discussion. Mother Earth in the form of cow and Dharma in the form of ox, whose three legs were cut by Kali Yuga. And then Parikshit Maharaj comes and he asked, who is the reason for your problem? Who did all these things? Then Dharma asked Parikshit Maharaj, who is the reason of my problem? I don't know, you tell me. Is like he says so many things there that is demigod my problem? Is Graha my problem? Or is uh, is other living entity my problem? Is my karma a problem? I don't know. You tell me. So in various places in Srimad Bhagavatam, this situation comes that Srimad Bhagavatam is a book which teaches us from these examples of exalted personality how to deal with your problem. Like Yugal Kishore Prabhuji gives this example many times. Example of potato, example of a cotton, or example of a herb. When there is a problem, like if a potato is put under pressure, it will crush into pieces. And if cotton is put under pressure, it will become hard. But when herbs are put under pressure, it will give sweet smelling herbs and it will give us spices. So depends on your nature, whether you are Rajagun, Tamagun, or Sattvagun, you will see the problem in that way. Here we can see that Suniti, even though going through so much pain, she is telling Dhruv Maharaj that you should not accept, you should not try to inflict pain upon someone. Otherwise, you yourself will go through suffering. Even though she's going through a lot of suffering, still she's saying it this way. Why? We can see from this nature. Even in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that people of this kind of nature are in mode of goodness. And it looks here like she is already very exalted devotee of the Lord. That is why she could perceive this situation in this way. We have seen that in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam, this kind of advice is given. For example, take the example of Priyavart Maharaj. When Priyavart Maharaj was in the ashram of Narad Muni with Narad Muni, doing his tapasya, doing his following, doing his devotional service, and when Manu Maharaj came, Swayambhu Manu Maharaj came, he was not ready to listen. Manu Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu, and then Swayambhu Manu went to Brahma. Here we can see the difference between Swayambhu Manu and Daksha. Daksha's son were also preached by Narad Muni, and Narad Muni, after Narad Muni made them brahmacharis, Daksha cursed Narad Muni. But Swayambhu Manu did not curse Narad Muni. He did not even thought about any bad about Narad Muni. Why? Because Swayambhu Manu is also one of the Mahajan. Narad Muni is also one of the Mahajan. So when suffering problem came, they did not felt like cursing someone. They, Manu Maharaj, took advice of Brahma instead of taking upon ourselves and doing something wrong to others. It's better to take advice from senior devotees. So that is what Manu Maharaj is teaching. Instead of cursing Narad Muni or even thinking bad, even at least thinking bad about him, he did not did any of those. He did not curse. He did not thought bad about anybody. He just went to Brahma and asked for advice. What should I do now? Because my time is coming to an end, and I want to make my life successful. Even though Manu Maharaj, throughout his whole life, he just spent his all the 71 Divya Yugas, one Kalpa, hearing about the Lord, but still he's saying, my life is wasted, is getting wasted. I want to I want to do a devotional service. So I want to get relieved of my position. So please advise me what to do. Then Brahma comes and advise Priyavatma, saying that somebody who have taken shelter, he used this word Padmanabh, somebody who have taken shelter of Padmanabh. What do you mean by Padmanabh? Taken shelter of the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether he is a grahastha, whether he is a brahmachari, whether he is a vanaprastha, whether he is a sannyasi, whether he is a brahmana, whether he is kshatriya, whether he is shudra, or whether he is vaishya, he will be saved from the atrocities of Maya, and he will always, his devotional service will always be protected. So, because you have already taken the shelter, whether you are here as a brahmachari or whether you will be as a grahastha, it will not affect you. No, that's it. Any situation will not affect you because Supreme Lord is very pleased with you. So here also Brahma is telling the importance of taking the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And similarly, we have also seen in another place where somebody is taking shelter of the Lord, Gajendra. Gajendra is also going through suffering, like how Dhruv Maharaj is going through suffering here. And then Gajendra took the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead and was saved from his suffering. Instead of what was his thought? He said, who will save me? These big elephants are not able to save me. My wives are not able to save me. And with my with my full strength, I'm not able to be saved. Who can save me? So he did not approach any other demigod, directly approached to Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what we will be seeing here. Suruchi, even Suniti, they did not said to Dhruv Maharaj that, oh, you worship Indra Dev, Chandra Dev, Agni Dev, Vayu Dev, or any other Dev, and then you will get my position. You will get you will get to take birth as my son. No, they did not tell. They only used the name of Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they all know that what can demigods do. Demigods are also under the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So instead of approaching indirectly, approach directly. That's what even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that the man of less intelligence will approach demigods, but who is very intelligent, the that is the most intelligent person who approach me directly. So even there, Gajendra Gajendra takes shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. How he takes shelter in his prayers? He never said the name. He never said any name in his prayers, but he was speaking. He was glorifying the qualities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was saying, he was saying in his prayers, he was saying that even the demigods like Brahma and Shiva take your shelter. So please come and save me. So in this way he says. In, so he and then similar situation when when Manu Maharaj gave up his kingdom to Priyavart Maharaj and goes in the forest to do austerity. When he's doing austerity, there were demons around who were very hungry, who wanted to come and eat up Manu Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu Maharaj. But he was in his prayers. What were his prayers? He was praying about the qualities of the Lord. He was praying that this Supreme Personality. There are many prayers, but one of his prayers were like Supreme Personality of Godhead is 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 like he said nirgun. The meaning of nirgun there, he it was mentioned, is it's not like nirgun nirakar. It's not like he doesn't have form or not, or he doesn't have any qualities. It is said that Supreme Personality of Godhead is away from material qualities and material form. His form is spiritual, his qualities are spiritual. That is why the word is used. So when he was doing this demons were when he was performing his austerity, he and his wife Shatarupa, this demon wanted to come and eat up because they were very hungry. But then Yagya was the Manmantra avatar in the Swayambhu Maharaj rule, and Swayambhu Maharaj also adopted Yagya from his daughter Akuti. Yagya was born to Swayambhu Maharaj's daughter Akuti, and then Swayambhu Maharaj adopted Yagya. And then Yagya came to save Manu Maharaj. So in every place of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that devotees are taking shelter of the Lord. They are not taking shelter of anyone else. And similarly, here, Suniti, when she is going through so much painful situation, she's advising Dhruv Maharaj to not to think think ill of others and take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is in the 19th verse, she said, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is fact. She's saying that this is the fact that you have been very unfortunate to take birth from me. But there is one more fact that you have to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead and by giving up your envious attitude. And when to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead? Immediately. She did not say that wait until you become 10 years old, wait until you become 15 years old and then worship. She's saying give up your envious attitude and worship Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately. So generally we see that parents nowadays parents will say that oh my son is going to this class that class, Sundays and Saturdays are very busy, he cannot, because of he cannot come to our Sunday school or Saturday school because he's already going to tennis class, this class, that class, and we cannot come because he's going to class. So people doesn't want to come because they are thinking that this devotional service is just like a spare wheel in the tire in the car, or it's like a coriander on a dish. They think that once in a while if we come and show praise the Supreme Personality of God and Krishna, we will get insurance. But we all know Duryodhan was there always, there he took birth in the family of in the relatives of Krishna only, but still, and he was seeing Krishna not just once in a while. He was seeing Krishna many times, and Shishupal, where they all were seeing Krishna, but their envious nature did not go. Why? Because even though they were seeing Krishna, they were sitting with Krishna, they did not take association, proper association of Krishna, of the devotees of Krishna. So when we say when she's saying give up your envious attitude and immediately execute devotional service, she knows the rarity and importance of this devotional service, because people doesn't know the rarity and importance of this devotional service. They take it very cheaply and very lightly. But if somebody knows the importance of this devotional service, they will know the urgency. If they know how rare the human life is and how rare is to come in contact with devotees, and then how fortunate you will be in coming in contact with devotees and go, and you will get opportunity to go back to Godhead. Whether you go back to Godhead or not, that is secondary. But at least you will get opportunity to serve, opportunity to clean your heart. You will get opportunity to live your life dedicated to serving Krishna. And then it's up to Krishna whether to take us back or not. But at least you are doing your service. In that way, Krishna will be pleased, devotees will be pleased, and your life will become auspicious. So I was thinking recently that there are three kind of most unfortunate people. The first one is for sure those who never came in contact with devotees, those who never came in contact with this process, or those who don't even know who is Krishna is. They are very unfortunate. If and only if they got opportunity to just hear about Krishna, or to know that there is something like this process, devotional service, bhakti yoga, they would have made some progress in their life. But we see there are there is minimum of 8 billion population on this planet. It might be more now. How many of them know about Krishna? By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, most, at least so many people know. But even now, how many of them know about Krishna, about this process? So they are very. most unfortunate people. The second unfortunate people are those who came in contact with devotees, who came to know about this process, but took it very cheaply. They are very unfortunate. If and only if those person could have taken this process seriously, they could have gone back to Godhead and just breaking the cycle of birth and death. They are they are going through a lot of suffering now. Whether they believe it or not, they are going through suffering. When we ask so many people that are you 100% happy, most of them say no, we are not. But there are few who say that I am 200% happy. They say that my life is all set. They don't know that they are going through suffering. They are most unfortunate people. Second, they are just time will reveal that how much suffering they are going through. If not anything, body will give trouble, and then birth, old age, disease, and death. And then there are three other Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Atmic suffering they will go through. Only if temporarily, if their life is going very nicely, they think that they have conquered this world. But no, this world is only made to frustrate everyone so that they'll come to know their real situation, their real position, and then they'll take shelter of Krishna and they'll come back to God. They'll go back to Godhead. Sorry. Similar thing happened to Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj was just a child of 5 years old. I don't even think that before this day he was going through any suffering. He did not even knew about something called suffering because he was a son of king. He was living in palace very nicely and he was getting everything whatever he want. But suddenly this day has come and he was spoken very harshly by his stepmother and it not just anything else but it was directly about his relationship with his father. She stopped him to go and sit on the lap of father. For 5 years old child, that is very big thing. Because I have seen some kids that if they don't see their parents for even 1 second, they start crying. So what if somebody is stopping them to go to their father and sit on their lap? How much suffering they'll go, how much pain it will cause. So it was lot of suffering for Dhruv Maharaj. So that is why when suffering came, he took the guidance and he heard the words of his mother Suniti. And as his mother said, immediately leaving your envious attitude, go and worship Krishna. And he went. Being Kshatriya, it was not very. It was in his nature that if he takes up something, he will do it. Determination. So with full determination, he went and he started seeking guidance to how to worship Krishna. And then he meets his spiritual master. That is story in future. That will come in future. But now he when his mother said immediately leave, he heard the instruction of his mother, and then he it this thing was very good for him. That this situation where he had to go through suffering was actually very good for him because he conquered his all the anarthas. What to say about anarthas? He conquered Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then he got so much mercy from Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the third, I'll end by this in just 5 minutes. And the third means most unfortunate people are those who come to this process, who take up this process, then they think that this process is not working and they leave. So that is the most, they are also the most unfortunate people. But because they came in association of devotees, at least they took, they did some devotional service. Whether they leave Krishna, Krishna will not leave them. From from so many there are so many stories, so many uh, pastimes with Srila Prabhupada himself that his disciples left and they came back. So whether you leave Krishna, once you come in contact with Krishna, Krishna will not leave you. So that is one hope giving. That is why it is hope giving to us to follow this process. If you worship any other demigods, if you leave them, they don't care. We have seen Indra, Lord Indra. He was he became so much angry when Brajvasis left his worship. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna will not become angry if you leave his worship. Krishna will make some situations in your life to call you back, to call you somehow or other back in this process, so that you can finish your business in this material world and go back to Godhead. So that is why the Sunati, she knows this fact very perfectly. That is why instead of telling any other demigod, she said that please worship Supreme Personality of Godhead and you will attain perfection. So that is what I wanted to speak today. Please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong or out of my adhikar. If there are any corrections, please correct me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Any corrections? Whatever I heard, I spoke for you. What? Yeah. Swayambhu Manu, yeah. Yes, yes. This past time I spoke about Swayambhu Manu. If anybody have anything on Zoom, if no one have anything, then we'll end here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you,
सम्यक
Prabhuji.